Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Margin Mindset by Modisoft. Today, I'm your host, Matt Vienna, Head of Marketing here at Modisoft, and we are joined by Ebuka Igwegbe. So, Ebuka, for those who don't know you, why don't you just give a little bit about your role here at Modisoft?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Thank you guys for having me here. I am the AI product manager, and I pretty much oversee and handle like all the development for all of Modisoft's AI products.
Since AI is your wheelhouse, right?
Yeah.
What does AI look like right now in the industry for both convenience and restaurant?
So AI right now is more of like a helpful, intelligent assistant, just in general. And so now bringing that home to convenience, retail, and restaurant, it is a business assistant that can help you simplify a lot of the friction that you deal with day to day, whether that's reporting, figuring out why your sales are dropping, figuring out how to improve your sales, handle your inventory, fuel, change your menu, find your peak times, your peak hours, sell more or less of an item. That is what AI looks like in the industry today.
Yeah. And would you say like a lot of those friction pieces are sometimes they go unnoticed, or do you think sometimes they're kind of like right in your face, like these things are taking up most of your time?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. I would say from what I've heard from consumers is a lot of time being spent on figuring out the why, because the thing about reports is you can look at reports all day, and reports could show, for example, that your sales are dipping, but it's not exactly going to explain why. And so where AI comes into that is it saves you the time of like combing through those reports for however long and having to talk to maybe your sales manager, your cashier to actually figure out why. It tells you why because it's running a constant analysis on your store.
Sure.
And it figures it out for you. So now you're not playing guessing games. And not just that it tells you why, it also provides a solution. So based on the problem, here is the solution or here's the recommendation. So you are acting with instantaneous data.
Mm-hmm.
And so that data is what a lot of owners didn't even know that they needed to figure out their problems and save time.
Obviously, right now, AI or artificial intelligence is everywhere. It's, if you're not implementing it in your business in some way, you are falling behind or at least not maximizing your efficiency.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So obviously it can be a bit daunting if you are maybe not so tech savvy, but what's one common misconception that people have about AI or what it is?
There's actually many misconceptions, but the biggest ones that stand out, number one, is that it's magic, which it's not. And for a lot of, non-tech savvy people, they think if it's not magic, then it's useless. And that's not the case. Sometimes you talk to consumers and they're like, oh, well, if it can't do this, and this for me, it's there's no need for it. And that's actually not the case. It can lead you in the right direction to make the right decisions, but it is not magic. They thought the same about computers. They thought the same about the internet. So it's not exactly surprising. Think of it like an upgrade. We've all played Mario Kart, and sometimes you pick a cart and you got to add certain upgrades to it to move faster and make sure you win the race. That's exactly what AI is.
So for today, how is AI helping business owners, restaurant and retail, kind of behind the scenes?
Yeah, it's helping them in a lot of ways. It's helping them gain insights on everything that's going wrong and, in their back office or back of house system that they didn't even realize. It's helping them improve their sales. Now they're selling more items that they didn't even know were just sitting on the shelf. They can see their peak times. They can see the times when they have the highest traffic, foot traffic in the store. They can see what's high in inventory, what's low in inventory. If something is going wrong, they know exactly why, and they know what to do from that point on. So I think the biggest thing is the why, because like I said earlier, you can look at a report all day, you can look at a spreadsheet all day, but it's not going to tell you why. Like if you were selling 1,000 bottles of Gatorade in a day and all of a sudden you started selling 5 in a day, a report's not going to tell you why. It's just going to tell you that you went from 1,000 to 5.
Right.
But AI would actually tell you went from 1,000 to 5 because the weather changed or a new flavor came out and you have to stay updated with the times, or the prices went up by like 10% and people were angry about it. So now you have to implement a promo. So it can tell you all these things. And so now you know exactly what to do. And this data is not being pulled out of the sky. Mm-hmm. This is your data.
Right.
So we're giving you insights based on your data for your restaurant or your store or your business, and helping you know exactly what to do with it.
Yeah.
So that's the value.
What are some ways or areas where AI is saving business owners time or money that some might not expect?
Yeah, I'll give you like 2 or 3 examples. So one is, kind of what I've been saying, since the beginning, is reports. So if you wanted to look at your sales info, your inventory info, you wanted to see where all your inventory was going, or even your purchases. You want to know where all your money is going. What's your profit and loss? Typically, you would, if you didn't have AI, you would have to go through multiple reports, study those reports, and still try to play some kind of guessing game or like do some mental math on like what exactly is going on here. It tells you what's going wrong. It tells you what's going right. It tells you why something is happening, which is the biggest thing, you want to know, is the why.
Right.
And then where do I go from here? It tells you that without you even needing to ask. And then I think another big piece is understanding the user. So the biggest thing about AI is reinforcement learning, which means the more you use it, the more familiar it gets with you. So it's like talking to a person. The first time I talk to you, I may only know your name. And then every other time I talk to you, I know your age, I know where you're from, and I know exactly how to communicate with you.
Right.
AI does that as well.
How can businesses keep that human touch while still utilizing AI and still maximizing their efficiency?
There's this terminology that I strongly stand by, and it came out like, I want to say a year or 2 ago. It's called HITL, Human in the Loop. And so what that means is anything that we're building is strongly guardrailed by the human. So the AI cannot take an autonomous decision without the human's approval. The AI cannot act without the human asking it, to act. So the human has the first and final say. Very important, because, we want to eliminate that fear of like, oh, what if it goes and does this for me? Or like, what if it goes and updates my menu and I didn't ask it to? It's never going to do that.
So we've kind of talked a little bit about how it can impact from like our customers or our clients, right?
Right.
But how can it impact our clients' clients? So how can it impact the shopper experience and the dining experience?
I see. So a perfect example is like if I were a restaurant owner and I sold, let's just say I sold like salads, right? I want to know when lettuce is going to go bad, and I want to know like where I could order onions from or something like that, right? Now, AI helps me make those decisions quick. It also helps me figure out the top selling salad bowls, the bottom selling salad bowls, or a salad bowl that I have on my menu that nobody even looks at. Maybe my sold quantity for like the last 2 months for that salad bowl is like 2. And that means I need to get rid of it, right? And, change up, something on my menu, or whatever people are adding as sides to salads. Maybe I can make another menu item based on that, because people are always ordering that, right? And so when the customers walk in and they see that what they're always having to ask for as a side is now a main item for like half off, it's like an answered prayer, right? It's like now you want to go for that, But see, it trickled down from AI making my life easier, and now I'm making my customers' life easier. And so based on that, I'm making more sales. So it's a very smooth like waterfall effect, I would say.
Yeah, and I think even more with the customer experience side of it, if it can save the business owner, the restaurant owner a lot more time. They can focus on that actual experience in store. Or even things as simple as, hey, what were my busiest hours on Wednesdays? And now I know, okay, actually it's not the lunch rush from 1 to 2. It's the dinner rush from 4 to 6. Right? People are coming home from work. They're stopping in and grabbing to-go orders. So now I can staff accordingly, and I can actually have a smoother customer experience for my diners, for my shoppers, etc. So I think that aspect too is a huge factor in why people are moving more towards using AI in different parts of their business and kind of the different use cases that we've seen AI being used to.
Absolutely. Because, just like you said about upstaffing, like I could be running a convenience store, with a gas station, and maybe I only had 2 people there, and my sales looked stable to me, right? And every time I speak to my store manager or, the cashiers that are there, like, how do you guys feel about it? And they're like, yeah, yes, there's a little bit of a rush at like 4 p.m. when people are leaving work, but it's nothing we can't handle. But see, if I ask AI and it actually looks at what I'm making now versus what I could be making if I put one more person in there at that time, now my revenue has doubled, right? And so now it's also a smoother customer experience. So if someone goes into my store and normally the wait time, from when I pick up chips and a soda to when I check out would be like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Now it's 2 minutes because I could pick it up and just go to the third guy, right? Check out and I'm out of there. And so now that's a gas station that I always want to go to at rush hour because they've upstaffed and it's like I don't have to spend that much time there. So everyone knows time is money. So it really just comes down to you're saving time for the business owner is saving time for the customer, which in turn turns to, more revenue.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So just as your closing thoughts, what would be your piece of advice to a business owner or operator that's a little intimidated or doesn't know how to get started with AI?
My piece of advice would be, to start looking into ways to save time and maximize profit, because that is exactly what AI would do for you. And a perfect example of that is, for our Modisoft clients who, already know, Sunny is a tool just like that. Sunny is our AI business assistant. So it's as easy as logging into your Modisoft back office like you normally would and clicking on Sunny, top right, and asking, what were my sales? What are my peak hours? How do I maximize profit? What should I sell more of? What should I sell less of? What exactly is going on here? I saw that my sales dipped last month. So what do I do? Things like that.
Right.
You can save that time. Before, you would have to look at a sales dashboard or look at a report or talk to your sales manager, all those kind of things. But you don't have to do that anymore. And it's literally that simple. And like I said, language, we've built it to be so specific to where anyone can use it with any language. So language is not a barrier. You being technically inclined is not a barrier. If you can type in a few words on a keyboard, you can use it. It's that simple. So I think that's the benefit, and that's what I would say to clients to pay more attention to.
Love that. Well, Ebuka, thank you for your time today.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. Happy to be here.
Sure. Well, this has been another episode of The Margin Mindset by Modisoft, and we will see you next time.